The Giants' franchise-killing decision, how they chose Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley. Hey there, Giants fans. Or should I say, ex-Giants fans? You know, I'm sure it feels like we've all been on a never-ending roller coaster with this team, up 1 minute, down the next. And right now? Well, the ride is a little more down than up. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most questionable decisions in New York Giants history. No, I'm not talking about their third failed attempt at a quarterback carousel over the last decade, though. We could easily fill a whole video on that. Today, we're talking about the day the Giants decided to pay Daniel Jones, yes, Daniel Jones, over their true franchise player, Saquon Barkley. Grab your popcorn, because this decision is just one big, juicy mess of what not to do if you want to build a successful football team. Let's break it all down. The scene before the decision, the Giants were in playoff mode. Kind of. Okay, let's roll back to the 2022 season. The Giants were, wait for it, actually in the playoffs. Let's all take a moment to appreciate that, shall we? After a long and painful rebuild, the Giants managed to sneak into the postseason. They even won a playoff game. It was supposed to be a turning point for this proud franchise. So, here we are at the end of the season, and the Giants have two huge contract decisions to make: what to do with Daniel Jones, and what to do with their MVP-caliber running back, Saquon Barkley. Jones, selected 6th overall in the 2019 NFL Draft, was, well, fine. He wasn't exactly the kind of quarterback you write home about. But he wasn't a complete disaster either. Jones led the Giants to a wildcard win. But let's be honest, it was more of a team effort than any wow moments from Jones himself. He threw for only 15 touchdowns that season, which is, really not great in today's NFL. In fact, his 135-yard, 0-touchdown performance in a 31-7 playoff loss to the Philadelphia Eagles didn't exactly inspire confidence for the future. And then, there's Saquon Barkley. The guy was a beast. He's the reason the Giants had any offense at all. He rushed for 1.312 yards and 10 touchdowns, played through injuries, and single-handedly kept opposing defenses up at night. It was clear to everyone that Barkley was the heart and soul of the offense, and probably the whole team. So, what does the Giants front office do? They commit big money to Daniel Jones. Yes, Daniel Jones. The Giants' decision: who do you pay first? The QB or the guy who's actually good? Let's take a quick look at what happened next. After the 2022 season, the Giants made a decision that would make your average NFL fan choke on their coffee. They gave Jones a 4-year, $160 million contract, with a crazy $47.855 million salary cap hit in 2024. Meanwhile, Barkley was offered a paltry 3-year deal worth just $13 million, with only $19.5 million guaranteed. Ouch. If you didn't already know. That's a pretty hefty slap in the face for a guy who's been carrying your offense for the last few seasons. The Giants, clearly assuming that Jones was the future of the franchise, decided to franchise tag Barkley for the 2023 season, which means they gave him a 1-year, $10.1 million deal. Now, while that might sound like a lot of money to you and me, it's nothing compared to what quarterbacks make. And to make things even juicier, the Giants openly told Barkley to test the free agent waters and said, "If we really like your offer, we'll match it." Ouch. Again. Here's the kicker: the Eagles, seeing an opportunity to upgrade their already loaded roster, offered Barkley a 3-year, $37.75 million contract, with $26 million guaranteed. Bingo. Barkley took the offer. And just like that, he was gone. And then, the Giants came to realize their mistake, too late. Fast forward to the 2023 season. What's happening now? Well, not what the Giants expected. Jones, despite that hefty contract, hasn't exactly been lighting the world on fire. In fact, he's been downright mediocre. His completion percentage dropped from 67.5% last year to just 63.3% this season. He's thrown more interceptions, 7, than touchdowns, 8. Oh, and here's the kicker: after yet another disappointing performance, Jones was benched in favor of backup Tommy DeVito. Yep, that Tommy DeVito. To put it mildly, the Daniel Jones era in New York looks like it might be over. Meanwhile, guess who's thriving in Philadelphia? Yep, Saquon Barkley. Barkley, now part of the Eagles' high-powered offense, is doing what he does best, tearing it up. In his latest performance against Washington, he rushed for 146 yards, scored 2 touchdowns, and added another 52 receiving yards. Through 10 games this season, Barkley has 1.137 rushing yards and 10 total touchdowns. Oh, and did I mention the Eagles are 8-2 and looking like serious Super Bowl contenders? Yeah. Barkley looks pretty darn happy to be in Philly. How did the Giants get here? A series of bad choices. Let's zoom out for a second and talk about what went wrong here. The Giants' decision to double down on Daniel Jones was clearly a miscalculation. They opted to overpay a quarterback who hasn't proven he can lead the team and, instead, lowballed their MVP-caliber running back. This decision has not only hurt the team's immediate performance but has also hurt their future prospects. Here's why. The Giants could have tagged Jones for 2023 and then entered the stacked 2023 quarterback draft. There were 6 quarterbacks taken in the top 12 picks last year, with several of them showing early promise. But, no, the Giants decided they had to lock in Jones. Now, well, they're stuck with him. And barring a miracle, it's going to be a tough road ahead. To make things even more tragic, the 2024 quarterback draft class isn't exactly full of star power. The Giants are likely to have a high pick this year, but with a lackluster group of quarterbacks in the upcoming draft, they might find themselves in a real bind. Oh, and they're also paying Jones a boatload of money that could have been better spent building out the roster, especially with their missing piece, Barkley, off in Philly. The real cost, a missed opportunity to build a championship team. The Giants messed up by ignoring the real value of positions. Yes, quarterbacks are essential to success in the NFL. But running backs like Saquon Barkley can be just as important. If you have a game-breaking talent in the backfield, your offense becomes much more dynamic and harder to defend. Just look at what Barkley is doing in Philadelphia. Meanwhile, Jones has struggled without Barkley in the lineup, and the Giants' offense has gone from mediocre to downright embarrassing. By focusing all their resources on Jones, the Giants failed to recognize that Barkley wasn't just an extra piece, he was the piece that could elevate the entire offense. The fact that they thought they could let him go and be fine without him? Well, that's what you call a classic "I can't believe they did that" moment. Conclusion: what's next for the Giants? In the end, the Giants' decision to prioritize Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley could go down as one of the most franchise-killing decisions in NFL history. The Giants are stuck with a quarterback who has failed to deliver, while Barkley is out there living his best life with the Eagles, chasing a Super Bowl. As for the Giants, they're left with a big contract, a lot of what-ifs, and a whole lot of "please fix this." Closing section. Well, folks, that's the saga of how the Giants botched their decision-making and set themselves up for a lot of tough years ahead. If you found this deep dive into the Giants' poor choices enlightening, or at least entertaining, make sure to give this video a big like. And if you want to stay updated on all things NFL, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. After all, who doesn't love a good underdog story? See you next time. And stay tuned for more football chaos.